In today's video, I want to follow up on The Last of Us Part 2 news and also give you guys an update that a free Last of Us Part 2 theme is available to download right now, or it should be available later today if you're watching this video in the States. The theme is already available in some areas outside of the States, but in the States, it should be available in just a little bit. Probably by the time you're watching this video, it's already live. Also, The Surge 2's reviews are coming out right now, and they're looking relatively good on Metacritic. I want to go over that, what the critics are saying, and something Metacritic did that annoyed me a little bit, although they did fix it really quickly. But we'll talk about that. And also, Remnant from the Ashes got a free dungeon. This came out a few days ago, but it's a free update, so we'll look at that. And also, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a new trailer for that is arriving later today. Again, maybe by the time you're watching this video, that is already live, so we'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, a free Last of Us Part 2 theme is available to download in the grunge theme. The theme is brand new and comes with custom music, which you can barely hear, kind of goes with the Last of Us vibe. You've got custom icons, and the theme has a VHS tape animated effect. Other regions outside of New Zealand will receive the theme later today, and somebody also uploaded a theme preview, and I'll put that in the description box if you guys do want to check that out. The theme prominently features Ellie in these very sublime and more dark settings, so that's really cool if you do want to get into the Last of Us vibe a little bit early. I mean, the game is still, what, 5 months away from release? The game is going to be tremendous, and I know many of you are incredibly excited for the game, so you might as well add this free theme to your library right now. The game will be dropping February 21st. We got a lot of details about the game, the various editions, and some of the details as well. The game is, of course, set 5 years after the events of the first Last of Us. After a deadly journey across post-pandemic USA, Ellie and Joel settle down in Wyoming. Living in a thriving community gives them stability despite the threat of the infected and desperate survivors. When a violent event disrupts the peace, Ellie begins a relentless journey for justice. Hunting those responsible, she's confronted by devastating physical and emotional repercussions of her actions. In the game, you'll discover an emotional story challenging your notions of right and wrong, adventure in a beautiful, dangerous world from peaceful mountains to overgrown ruins, and experience the action survival gameplay of tense melee combat, fluid movement, and dynamic stealth. A lot of mystery still surrounding the game. I'm really happy the route Naughty Dog decided to go when releasing that trailer. They didn't show us a lot. They didn't give us a lot of story spoilers, and come February 21st, a lot of us are going to be in the dark about what the game actually entails from a story standpoint, and that's incredibly exciting to me. That's what I want a story-driven game like The Last of Us to be. So again, that's dropping February 21st, but a free theme in the grunge theme is available to download right now. Alright, moving on from that, The Surge 2 is a game that I talk quite a bit about, and the Metacritic reviews are coming in. The Metascore right now is a 74, which isn't a bad score by any means. A 74, in all honesty, is a pretty good score, and what really annoyed me before we take a look at the reviews themselves is on the front page of Metacritic for a little bit, you had The Surge 2 prominently featured, and then you had the score there of a 74, and then the subtitle read, The Surge 2 is out today, and the game is still not great. Okay, in what world is a 74 not a good score? Sure, it might not be a great score, but that notion of describing a game as not being great, that attaches such a negative stigma to the game that Metacritic for a little bit was just promoting The Surge 2 as being this terrible game where it absolutely is not that. They've since fixed that, and I'm happy that they fixed that, but that's something that really annoyed me. And once again, it goes on that point where it's just been way too normalized where every game is getting north of an 85. You got an 88 here, a 91 here, a 94 there, an 86 here for that game, and we've kind of marginalized how strong those review scores are, where a 74 is seen as a bad review score. It absolutely is not. If you want to say that The Surge 2 isn't a 74 and it should be scored even lower, that's one thing, but if the game is going to be scored a 74, then it should be promoted as such, and you should be saying it is a very good game. Alright, outside of that rambling, Destructoid did give the game a 7.5, noting while Deck 13 still has some work to do, The Surge 2 is a massive step up from its predecessor in just about every respect, and that's really what I was looking for out of this game, just to be an improvement upon the first game, and Deck 13 continually has been making improvements on their prior titles. PlayStation Lifestyle gave the game an 8 out of 10, saying perhaps most important for the first time, I actually felt like I understood the Souls genre with The Surge 2. It's the first one that made me actually feel anything other than annoyed and confused, and that I wanted to actually stick around to see the end of it. It still has issues and I'd love to see more enemy variety, but I can safely say that I'll be back for whatever Deck 13 has planned next. So that is very high praise, so good on the Surge 2 for that. And lastly, I do want to take a look at one final review from PlayStation Universe. They noted the Surge 2 is much better, engaging, and rewarding experience than the first game, dozens of quality of life improvements, more interesting environments and characters, and the addition of parrying makes the Surge 2 a must-play for anyone who even slightly enjoyed their time with the first game. However, the game holds itself back from being an excellent Souls-like with some poor lighting in areas, intense difficulty spikes, and a final area that is just plain unfun. They gave the game an 8 out of 10, so another pretty strong score. And one final review, I know I just said that would be the last one, but IGN is of course the most notable critic, and they gave the game a 7.6 out of 10, saying, "The Surge 2 checks many of the boxes for a successful sequel, but this sci-fi action RPG falls just short of recapturing the full dismembering joy of the original." So they actually noted that the game is a little bit of a step backwards. Whatever the case may be, overall the game's reception has been rather strong, currently sitting at a 74 on Metacritic. Alright, next up, Remnant from the Ashes. I just want to make note to you guys that it has gotten a free dungeon. Gunfire Games and Perfect World Entertainment released Remnant from the Ashes for PC, PS4, and Xbox One back in August. And the game was received really well, I think for a variety of different reasons. It's a high quality game, and also they did really well in terms of pricing. The game was released at $39.99 and it offered a decent amount of content for the money. And now an update has just been released, and if you update and play Remnant from the Ashes from today onwards, you will gain access to a dungeon called Leto's Lab, and it'll appear both in the adventure mode and will even be dynamically spawned in the main campaign. The enemies of the dungeon will be the Doctor's experiments, though there are also several puzzles to solve, and the ultimate reward of a secret armor set. There is some backstory to the map as well, but obviously you guys are probably going to go into Remnant from the Ashes and this content for the gameplay, and the gameplay does look pretty good, and best of all, it is a free update. For a game that was released at $40, for it to get free updates, I think that is a really good way to go. Reminds me a lot of World War Z, and that game turned out to be a bigger success than anyone had really thought it to be. World War Z is doing really well. Remnant from the Ashes is doing really well. Sony's got some upcoming exclusives that they're pricing at $30. I really hope that this becomes more and more of a regular trend where we do see some more big budget games, not necessarily, you know, AAA games like Death Stranding, but these games that are quality in their own right be priced a little lower, whether it be a World War Z and Remnant from the Ashes being priced at $40, or in the case of Concrete Genie and the Medieval remake being priced at $30. Given how many games are coming out these days, if we can save a little bit of money, that could end up paying dividends not only for the consumer, but from the publishers and studios themselves, because the games do inherently end up selling more because of the cheaper price point, and maybe they end up generating more revenue altogether had they been priced at $60, so that's really cool. Lastly, I do want to note that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is going to be getting a new trailer later today. Respawn announced, see the next generation of Star Wars products on September 26th at 11 a.m. Pacific time during the Triple Force Friday global reveal. Tune in to watch Cameron Mohan reveal products for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and debut a brand new trailer. Now, this is a game that initially I was really excited for, with Respawn working on a single-player Star Wars title. However, nothing I've seen out of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from a personal standpoint has really sold me on the game. It's looked okay, but for a single-player, big-budget Star Wars game, man, I would have expected a lot more. I'm sure the game will be okay, but EA needs a lot more than okay, and the Star Wars franchise from a video game standpoint needs a lot more than okay. After Star Wars Battlefront got absolutely butchered, Jedi Fallen Order still has that EA stigma attached to it, and it's gotta eliminate that stench. Now, it's not as bad as if this would have been like a Battlefront 3, however, it's still Star Wars, it's still EA, it's still got that bad stench attached to it, and I want to see some quality gameplay out of the title ahead of its release, because come November 15th, it might end up being a good game, but marketing has really been the issue with EA in recent years. They just cannot promote games to save their lives anymore outside of sports games that are going to sell well anyway. But you look at Battlefield 5, you look at Titanfall 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, these games were just promoted so poorly, and it's not like any of those games were even bad. Honestly, those games in all of their cases were probably better than the promotion led you to believe, and I don't know if Jedi Fallen Order is going to end up being in the same boat, but I do think they could have done a better job promoting the game. But nonetheless, I do hope that it turns out to be quality come November 15th because I do think that there's a lot of raw potential here. It's just that the gameplay hasn't been all too captivating to me. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, a free Last of Us Part 2 theme is available right now with the Grunge PS4 theme. The Surge 2 reviews are coming in, a 74 on Metacritic, which yes, is actually a pretty good review score. Remnant from the Ashes has gotten a free dungeon, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gets a new trailer later today. By the time you're watching this video, it's probably already live. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.